It starts from the story pages, from the writers, once they've the type of fight it is, and then we'll try and embellish that fight. As part of my team, I have an assistant stunt coordinator and a swordmaster, and we work very closely together, try and incorporate slightly different moves. We might try and film it slightly different, and then once we've choreographed these fights, we bring the actors in, we teach them these fights with their stunt doubles.
You're constantly on their cases, you know, making sure that they're focused and they stay focused, yeah. So pretty much, you know, however big the sequence is, you know, the more rehearsal is required. So whether it's fights, whether it's falls, whether it's fire, you know, we just encompass all the action and just try and put our hands to it, as much of it as possible.
And then with the armour, the type of weapons we're going to use, whether it's swords, shields, axes, daggers, and that's where the beauty of the swordmaster comes in.
Some of it's so brutal and the fight will be over and done with, you know, a lot of the times, especially medieval times, they use a hammer or something like that. Well, bang around the head and that's it, it's over. And we've had a lot of fun on this. There's been quite a few fights, plenty of blood everywhere. It's been good.
Sometimes it's daunting at the start, thinking how you're going to get this done. But I think this season they've upped their game. They've had to. In the first season we were introducing characters and places and people, and this season we're getting gritty, down and dirty this season. So hopefully they'll enjoy.
I remember when we're scouting other countries, they just didn't look right. There was something, it's hard to put your finger on it, but they felt a little bit too new. You really need to believe that you're in a space that has been there for thousands of years, and you get that in the Irish forest.
Northern Ireland is a superb place to film because you can find spectacular beauty within a very quick car drive of Belfast. It's just a matter of looking and you will find really great things.
Whenever possible, we love to get it all on camera, and there's nothing that really gives you a greater sense of scale and scope than the actual locations.
When you have a location like this, it's just absolutely stunning. It shows you how vast the landscape is, how big, what distances there are, even though the weather can be an absolute demon.
Apparently Northern Ireland is the wettest place in Europe, so it's not a big surprise. We did have a scene we shot a couple of days ago. Because of all the water, the mud was just everywhere, and it was horrendous. And I'm like swimming around in the mud, but it looks amazing.
This is a very big production, and the production values are high. So the amount of things we take into the locations probably exceeds a lot of feature films. The challenge is really is getting a unit of this kind of size into the places that are beautiful. And sometimes the most beautiful places are the most difficult to get to. We're on top of mountains, we're underneath cliffs, in the middle of swamps.
You've got beautiful hillsides and great rocky, dramatic beaches, which we shot on quite a lot. There are a number of beach scenes.
As soon as our story reached out towards sea-going adventures and the sea being featured with the Iron Islands and Pike, it needed something brand new and spectacular, and that's what we're always trying to find is a new thing to feature.
The other great thing about working here are the people who are incredibly good to work with, passionate about the show, intelligent, hardworking. We have an incredible crew, and it still seems exciting for the people here in Belfast, and it's still new and invigorating. So it's a great place to live and a great place to work. King's Landing might be the most important single location in the entire show, and it has to look right. The minute we started walking around in the walled city, we knew it was it. You read the descriptions in the book, and then you come to Dubrovnik, and it's what the actual city is.
To find the full-on, immaculately preserved medieval walled city that looks uncannily like King's Landing, where the bulk of our show is set, that was in and of itself just such an amazing find.
There's something about this place that's so perfect. There are a number of angles we can shoot where we don't have to do a single VFX trick, and it just looks right as is.
I mean, the nice thing about Dubrovnik is it's built for Game of Thrones, but a lot of it's built up high. So the challenge is that if you build anything there, it all has to be carried up by hand.
The fortified architecture is perfect. Its relationship to the sea is perfect. The skyline of the town works very well, and we were also lucky to be able to find other worlds here, like Karth, which is a new world for season 2.
It's a kind of an oasis city, so the sunlight's quite different, the people dress differently, and locations are different.
This island locker room is just extraordinarily beautiful. So far as the scale is concerned, it's got bigger and better, and you can really feel the history of the place as well, which is quite moving.
Croatia is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. The people, the food, Everything about this place is just gorgeous. I mean, looking at an island right there, you can take a ferry to in 10 minutes, and you can go swimming in the cleanest water I've ever seen.
Every day you're greeted by the sparkling Adriatic and the sun and the history and the architecture, and we are all very, very grateful to be here.
Croatia is fabulous. Really, really hope that we can shoot here for longer next year and for longer the year after that. It's a wonderful place to work.
We're standing in front of this green screen here in LA. I'd just like to big up the technical department because people will actually believe that we're in this place. Actually, I'm just going out for lunch down at Santa Monica.
In season 1 we had places we could snow up with artificial snow, but north of the wall in season 2, when Jon Snow goes into the Frostfangs, demanded a bigger landscape.
We always knew we wanted something really just kind of shatteringly beautiful and barren and brutal for this part of Jon's journey, because he's in the true north now.
I've shot in Iceland before, and it seemed to be an obvious fit.
And it's all real, it's all in camera. We're not doing anything in post to, add mountains or snow or anything else. We're not taking out hoses and spraying bleached pulp on the ground to create fake snow.
We all feel, and especially the cast, that actually being able to go to a world that evokes the world you're trying to create is inspiring for everybody. And certainly coming here and freezing ourselves and nearly falling off cliffs and falling into crevasses has made the North of the Wall story very real for everybody.
It helps an actor so much just to be in this kind of incredibly authentic environment. You could try and CGI this, but there's no need. Look at it, it exists. And you can't get away from this cold. It's all I've thought about since I arrived.
It's been so cold, and yet you can't help but just be happy that you're kind of seeing this amazing view.
The isolation, just the dramatic, harsh starkness of the environment has just been incredibly helpful to what we're trying to achieve out here.
It does it all for you, to be honest with you. There's not much acting required. You've just got to walk into the situation and play it as it is.
The biggest challenge, of course, is we're here in Iceland in the winter, so the days are about 4.5 hours long. So we have, the sun barely makes it up above the horizon and then goes back down again almost immediately. The great thing is that the days are short, but the light is beautiful for that whole period.
They just lit everything up in a beautiful kind of burnt orange. I can't wait to see what that looks like. I can imagine it's going to look very, very special.
We have to maximise the use of the daylight by rigging in the early morning. We come at 7 in the morning and carry all the equipment onto the glaciers under artificial lights, and then as soon as it's light, off we go. And likewise, we have to take it all off the ice once it's got dark.
I'm not part of the technical crew, and I can imagine, thank God, at this moment in time, and I can see that it's creating problems that have never really come up before, like not being able to drive vehicles anywhere for 3 feet at a time, then everything kind of breaks down.
There are only a few places in the world I can imagine where we could have this kind of landscape.
It's been, honestly, one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Epic.
At all times, the landscape in Game of Thrones is going to add another character, another part of the storytelling. Iceland is, I hope, will continue to be giving us the bit of magic we want for North of the Wall.